It's always nice to get support from other people, to have friends and family that we can rely on when we're going through something. But when you really think about it, the only person that's there for you 24/7 is you. We can't escape ourselves, we're always with ourselves. And I think we overlook the fact that that actually offers us a really beautiful tool to help us get through things and to help us acknowledge our growth and our accomplishments. We tend to look to the outside world for praise and for support, and we forget that we always have someone right here who can provide us with everything we need. I feel as though one of the most amazing things we can do in life as adults is learn how to be our own biggest supporter and how to acknowledge our own growth and improvement. We're always growing, we're always learning, we're always improving, and we tend to overlook that, and it's really hard for us to celebrate our wins and to acknowledge how far we've come. So this is something that I think is really important to change as we get older. And I would say that the first step to doing this is to reinvent our relationship with ourselves. Although we have the potential to be our biggest supporter, we tend to be our biggest critic. We tend to be really hard on ourselves and bring ourselves down a lot and focus on the things that we've done badly and messed up on way more than the things that we have done well. So it's very important to completely reinvent this relationship with ourselves, and this takes time and practice. The society that many of us have grown up in teaches us to be hard on ourselves and to have a very negative relationship with ourselves. So it's up to us to take the power back into our own hands and reinvent this relationship and actually become our biggest supporter. And I think an easy way to do this is to just begin acknowledging how we talk to ourselves. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself, how you think about yourself, what you tell yourself on a daily basis, and notice the negatives versus the positives and try to shift it more in the direction of the positives. So if you notice that you spend a lot of time focusing on the things that you've done wrong in the past, the mistakes you've made, shift that and start to focus on things that you've accomplished in the past and things you've done that have really helped you grow and improve as a person. If you notice that you talk down to yourself a lot and you put yourself down and you focus on your imperfections and the ways that you don't feel as though you measure up to who you want to be, shift that and focus on the qualities that you really love and appreciate in yourself, and focus on the things that you do for yourself and for other people that you think are really amazing. Do what you need to do in order to get to a place where you become a friend to yourself instead of an enemy, and you begin to treat yourself how you would want your friends to treat you. And this is a really beautiful thing, because once you develop this friendship with yourself, you get to a place where you truly start to see yourself as a friend and as someone who uplifts you. And therefore, when you're feeling down, when you're going through something, you feel as though you are someone who can be there for you. And I know it sounds funny, and it's kind of funny to talk about in this way, but it really is like that. That's what it has been like for me. This journey of becoming my own friend, I've gotten to a place where I almost see myself as two different people. And there's a side of me that is sad and feeling down and going through things, and then there's this other side of me that is almost like a friend who's able to kind of uplift me and help me through those hard times. Granted, there are still going to be times where you do want to go to an outside person and you do want help from a friend or a family member, but it's really nice to feel like you also have yourself, because when we're in a place where we don't feel as though we can rely on ourselves to get us through anything, we are so dependent on the other people in our lives to help us through everything, and it's just not a healthy way to go about life, because there's always going to be things that we're dealing with, but there's always going to be things that the other people in our lives are dealing with as well. And they're not always going to be able to help us with the things that we are trying to overcome, because they have their own lives to live. So when you feel as though you are your own friend as well, and you are someone who can help you get through things, it has a really positive, healthy impact on your life in general and on your relationships. And because you are you and you have been there for every single moment of your life, you are the best person to acknowledge and appreciate the growth and improvement that you have experienced. Same thing here. Let's say we have a friendship or a relationship with a partner, and we feel as though we have made a lot of growth and improvement within that relationship, and we want to be acknowledged for it so badly, but maybe the person is so caught up within their own lives, or maybe they acknowledge it but they just don't feel the need to voice that to us, so they never bring it up. And if we're expecting them to be the one to acknowledge our growth and improvement, we could be really disappointed, and it could end up damaging the relationship and damaging the improvement that we have made. But if we choose to acknowledge ourselves for our own growth and improvement and do whatever we want to do in order to bring light to that, whether it's journaling about it or treating ourselves to something nice in order to reward ourselves for it, if we are the ones who take the power into our own hands and acknowledge our own growth and improvement, we don't feel the need to get that from the outside world so much. I would say that acknowledging growth and improvement is something that should be done consistently, because we are always growing and improving, whether we realize it or not. So I think it's a good idea to have some time every week that we intentionally take to acknowledge our growth and improvement, whatever that looks like for you, whether it is journaling, or if you're not into writing, you could record a video or a voice memo where you talk about your growth and improvement and you almost talk to yourself in that. Or something I've been doing lately that I really enjoy is, I call it car therapy sessions. So if I'm driving alone, which I often am, instead of putting on music or something to listen to, I just talk to myself, and I talk to myself about the ways that I have grown and improved recently and how far I've come. And it's really nice. It really truly does feel like therapy, because I come away from it feeling lighter and feeling like I expressed myself and like I healed through that. So those are the 3 main ways that I would recommend doing this. And the more you acknowledge your own growth and improvement, the happier you'll be and the healthier your relationship with yourself will be.